All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to our second installment of This Week in the Garden State, Twigs, Twigs, Twigs. So I'm Mike Ham, as you know, host of Greetings from the Garden State. So last week we brought you our first ever episode of This Week in the Garden State, where every Sunday we give you 5 things. That's what I said last week. 5 things that you need to know about in New Jersey that week. We gave you a couple of events. We gave you a nonprofit. We gave you some other things that were going on. This week, we're doing something slightly different, so we're already changing it up a little bit. One of my favorite things to do in our travels throughout the state is hit dive bars, because honestly, who doesn't love a good dive bar? I'm looking at this Instagram post that I had put up on my story the other day, and if you don't follow us on Instagram, please do. It's at Greetings from the Garden State. We had over 400 people view this story. We had so many responses with so many people telling us what their favorite dive bar in New Jersey is. We're gonna make some people upset because I expanded the list to our top 10. And when I say top 10, I'm saying my 10 favorites. I in no means say that these are the best ones because we're gonna hit you with 3 honorable mentions right out of the gate that I actually haven't been to before. They were just ones that a lot of people put as their favorite dive bar in New Jersey. So, and also when we give you the top 10 list, we didn't necessarily rank these. These are just 10 of my favorites. So take it for what you will, but they're all 100% worth the visit. You will not be disappointed, and that is what this is for. So we're going to start out with our 3 honorable mentions, and like I said, honorable mentions, these were 3 that a lot of people said in the stories, in our story, they replied to the question that this was their favorite dive bar in the state. I haven't been to these 3. 2 of them have been high on my list for a while. The other one I heard about for the first time today, but now it's definitely on the list. So once we do check those out, we'll be sure to kind of reach back out and go from there. But so the first one, the one that I haven't been to that I actually hadn't heard before was Lucky 7 in Jersey City. That's our first honorable mention. Another one that I had heard a lot about is Jay's Elbow Room in Mapleshade. A couple times since we've gone down to Camden to visit the Battleship and Donkey's Place, we've passed Jay's, and I've seen it a bunch of times. I've heard of it, just haven't been able to get down there because Mapleshade is a little bit of a ride. So that's our second honorable mention. And our third honorable mention is Georgie's in Asbury Park, which I believe is on 4th. So those 3, Georgie's, Jay's Elbow Room, Lucky 7. I haven't been there. I've heard incredible things about all 3. So if you do have a chance to get there, our listeners would recommend it. And once I'm able to get there, then I'm sure I would be able to recommend it from there. So without further ado, we're going to do our top 10. Our 10 favorite dive bars in New Jersey, in no particular order, and I'll have some comments on all these. Right out of the gate, we're going to start a little nostalgia. So I went to school at TCNJ down in Ewing, New Jersey, and there's a bar down there called Slocum's Bowling Bar and Grill. Little bowling alley, dive bar, great. Spent a lot of late nights that I'm told I was there. A lot of fun. They do college nights. They do different kind of events. Just like a great local bar. You get some college kids in there. You get some locals in there. And it's a lot of fun because they do some nights where it's like $2 games and free shoes and all that. So Slocum's Bowling Bar and Grill, Ewing, New Jersey is our first one up in our top 10. Our 10 favorite. I stopped saying top 10 because it's not necessarily top 10. It's my 10 favorites. So next up is the Great Notch Inn in Woodland Park, New Jersey. So this is an interesting one because I've been, like where I grew up, I passed the Great Notch Inn so many times. Had never been in, stopped in one day and posted about it on a story and actually got more responses to that story outside of the one about this one today than I had ever gotten on a story. More people were saying, oh, I've always been so afraid to go in there. You're going to get my ass kicked. It's a biker bar, all that kind of stuff. Don't worry about it. You're going to be fine. It's a really cool place. They do live music all the time. It's a lot of fun. Very old. It's got a really cool story. It's been in this family for a while. The grandfather started it, and now the grandson runs it. They really the big reason why that part of 46 where it turns into 3 is because of the Great Notch Inn and how they basically told everyone we're not moving, which is a unique story and definitely something that at some point we'll have on the regular episodes of Greetings from the Garden State. But so that's our number 2 in our 10 favorite dive bars in New Jersey. So Great Notch Inn, Woodland Park, New Jersey. Number 3, Krug's Tavern, Newark. So Krug's gets a lot of press because they have one of the best cheeseburgers in the state, one of the best burgers in the state. So, I mean, any food writer that's here in New Jersey that ventures into Newark has been to Krug's. It's phenomenal. It is as dive as you can get. It's super old school, really cool spot. I went there. I was doing an interview with a nonprofit in Newark, stopped in for a burger and a beer beforehand and was just blown away. Like little grill, again, like a super old school family owned business that's been there for a while. Beer, burger, you're not going to go wrong. So that's number 3, Krug's Tavern in Newark. Number 4, this one was probably the most suggested one in our Instagram story about this particular topic. So it's the Riverside Inn in Cranford. Some people also said the Riverside Inn in Neshannock Station. I hope I said that right. If I don't, then I lose my Jersey card. But Riverside Inn, it's got like seafood history and all that kind of stuff. And behind the bar, there's paper plates with specials drawn on them. A lot of just random stickers and stuff on the wall, which is, always a cool thing to see at a dive bar. We went there before a show at Crossroads. We were seeing Brian Fallon down there, and it was great. We had such a good time. It's fun. It's a little tight, like small bathroom, small whatever, but it's a dive bar. You're not expecting big, luxurious bathrooms or big, luxurious space. So definitely something to keep an eye on, the Riverside Inn in Cranford. And they definitely there's like a lot of history in that one too. They have some old signs of like a seafood market that I think was in there at some point. So definitely check out the Riverside Inn. Next up, this is one that has 2 locations. The one that I've been to is Sharky's in Clifton. There is a Sharky's in Boonton. Some people said Boonton in the story. Some people said Clifton. I've been to Clifton, so I'm putting Clifton on my list as well. It's similar to the Riverside Inn, and it does like seafood stuff. They have a raw bar, so you can get oysters, clams, shrimp, cocktail, bang bang shrimp type stuff. Just a really cool spot. Spend a lot of time watching games there, and it's fun for sure. Like they have a small little kitchen, and they do a really good job with their wings. Are huge there. It's a great spot. It's like one of our favorite places to go stop in when we're grabbing lunch or happy hour type thing. So definitely check out Sharky's in Clifton. So that's our first 5 of our top 10. I know I initially said 5 per week, but because this is such a important topic to the lexicon of New Jersey restaurant, dive bar, society. So this is what we're doing. So we're doing 10 this week. So we got 5 more to go. So our first 5 were Slocum's Bowling Bar and Grill in Ewing, New Jersey, the Great Notch Inn in Woodland Park, Krug's Tavern in Newark, the Riverside Inn in Cranford, and Sharky's in Clifton. So 5 more. The next one is right here in my hometown of Morristown, Tavern Off the Green in Morristown. I mean, you want to talk about dive bar, this is a dive bar. Pool tables, darts, they do live music quite a bit. Friendly people, interesting people. It's right across from the train station, so you do have people kind of coming in from all over the place to come visit. It's a cash-only bar. That is the same for some of these places on this list. Cash-only bar. They don't have food. That is one thing to note. This is, I believe, I don't think the Great Notch Inn has food, but I think those 2 are the only 2 that don't have food. So, but still great, still worth it. When you start comparing drink prices around Morristown, at least, the best bang for your buck is going to be Tavern Off the Green, and you'll get to meet some really cool, interesting people while you're down there. I'm pretty sure you can bring in food there too. So, all right, so Tavern Off the Green, Morristown, New Jersey. Number 4, down to Asbury Park, we got Bond Street Bar. Bond Street's a really cool, interesting place. Obviously, Asbury Park is a really interesting area with a lot of cool, interesting people. We've had Georgie's in our honorable mention, which I just haven't been able to get to yet. But Bond Street is awesome. Again, like, it's cash only. It's cheap. Not cheap. It's affordable, more affordable than some of the other places you'll see down there. They do have food. I've never eaten there before, but it's a lot of fun. They also have a basement, which is, I believe, under Capitoline, because it's all kind of part of the same restaurant there. And they do live music down there in the basement, the Bond Street basement. It's a vibe for sure. Their merch is really cool. The eye is really cool. We always like stopping in. We'll hit the distillery, a restaurant down there, and then we'll always try to get to Bond Street for at least one, just because it's a great little spot. So Bond Street Bar, Asbury Park, that's number 4. 3 more. We did this episode recently, so only 2 actually of the places on this list have been episodes of Greetings from the Garden State. So this is the first one, Donkey's Place in Camden. So we talked about Donkey's Place quite a bit. We just talked about Camden before when we were talking about Jay's Elbow Room and Maple Shade. So Donkey's is a super interesting place. Obviously, their cheesesteak is what they're most known for. They keep weird hours. Like, they're open from 7 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night, Monday through Friday. They are only open the first Saturday of the month. So no evenings, no weekends, no nothing. But if you want a cheesesteak and a beer at 7 o'clock in the morning, you can go get it. So that's what makes them really interesting. It's similar to Krug's in a sense that it's a super small grill. It's been family owned since I think Donkey's Place been family owned since the 40s, I want to say, like 1943. Their cheesesteaks are amazing. Their onion rings, their stuffed peppers, very straightforward, very, and I know Camden has a stigma around it. And obviously you have to be careful when you're down in Camden, but I will say that the people that I met in Donkey's Place, both times that I've been there so far, have been some of the nicest, most welcoming people I've ever interacted with while doing this show, or really in my entire life living in the state. Just super interested, super friendly, welcoming, because, when you're in there, everyone's just doing the same thing, grabbing a beer, grabbing a cheesesteak, and hanging out and shooting the shit with people around you. So Donkey's Place, Camden, that is our 7th one. Our 2 more to go. Tierney's Tavern, Montclair, New Jersey. So Tierney's is another great spot. Burgers off the charts. I know they do hot dogs and chili dogs and stuff like that. Really old school. I love, because I have a larger butt, I love their big, giant bar stools with the cushions on them. So that's really great. And it's just a cool local bar in Montclair. Montclair is interesting because it doesn't have a ton of places that serve liquor, and this is one of them. It's just the way that their liquor licenses work in Montclair, and it's always a lot of fun stopping in there, grabbing something. Like we did that after one day we were in Newark, sat at a charity event. It was super hot. We were just getting smoked by the sun, and afterwards we went there, cooled off, had something to eat, had a drink, and it was great. So Tierney's Tavern, Montclair, New Jersey, that is our 9th one of our top 10 list. And finally, I talk about this place all the time now because it's now become one of my favorite places in the state, bar none, is Tony's Baltimore Grill in Atlantic City. So Tony's is pizza, spaghetti, salads, all sorts of stuff. We had Clams Casino pizza. We had fried shrimp. Their fried shrimp was off the charts. They are interesting because they are a 24-hour-a-day bar. So you can go in there at 5 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock at night and get served a beer or a drink. It's a interesting thing there's only 3 non-casino bars that exist in Atlantic City that are like that because they've been there for so long. When the casinos came in the 70s, they got 24-hour liquor licenses. And Tony's, the Irish pub, and I'm going to forget what the other one is. Irish pub should also be on this list, honestly. That's another great spot. But those 3, they got grandfathered in with a 24-hour liquor license so they can serve all day and night. They only serve food from 11 o'clock to 3, but their food does not need to be as good as it is. It's honestly tremendous. Everything was so great. We had such a great time when we were there. And we started at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we had fun from 10 o'clock in the morning till whatever time we wound up leaving there. But so if you're in Atlantic City, that's always my big thing with Atlantic City. If you're going down there, make sure you get out of the casinos a little bit, take an Uber over to Tony's, and check that place out. Super nice people. They do a lot of cool events like a Sopranos brunch and Tiki Christmas in July, which is one thing that they were planning while we were down there over the summer. So that's the list. Our 10 favorite dive bars in the state of New Jersey. So I'll recap them again. So you have Slocum's Bowling Bar and Grill, Ewing, New Jersey, the Great Notch Inn in Woodland Park, Krug's Tavern in Newark, the Riverside Inn in Cranford, Sharky's in Clifton, Tavern off the Green in Morristown, Bond Street, Asbury Park, Donkey's Place, Camden, Tierney's Tavern, Montclair, and Tony's Baltimore Grill in Atlantic City. So those are our 10 favorite dive bars in the state. We had 3 honorable mentions: Georgie's in Asbury Park, Jay's Elbow Room in Maple Shade, and Lucky 7 in Jersey City. I just haven't been to those, so they didn't quite make the list. There's more. I know we missed some. And so what I want you to do is share this episode. Let us know which ones we forgot. We'll obviously be posted on social media, so make sure you tell us. Let us know which ones we forgot, and honestly, which ones we need to go visit, because this is my 10 favorites, but I know that there's more. I love visiting dive bars really anywhere, but specifically in New Jersey, because that is what this show is all about. So thank you for listening and putting up with almost 20 minutes of me talking about dive bars in New Jersey. This has been This Week in the Garden State. I'm Mike Ham, as part of the larger Greetings from the Garden State. You can check out all of our episodes, greetingsfromthegardenstate.com. Share this episode on Instagram. We'll be putting up a reel with our top 10 list soon. Once this episode airs, it'll come out on Sunday. Every Sunday we'll be doing this. Every Tuesday we have our episodes with our guests and our travels around the state. So be sure to check those out as well. So we really appreciate everybody listening. So stay tuned. This Tuesday we have our episode 100, which actually is really significant, with Choose New Jersey and the CEO Wesley Matthews. Great conversation. Can't wait for that one to post. So be on the lookout for that. And then every Sunday we'll be here with Twigs. Every Tuesday we'll have our regular episodes. So thank you for listening to this one, and we'll catch you next time.